My Arewa brothers, this one may hurt you, but wallahi, I don't care. Just beats. See how slow and how daft you are. The Arewa community that is carrying religion for head, you are still the poorest. Stop the nonsense. It's over. It's over.
Hello and what's up, guys? In this video, an angry young Nigerian man has gone viral after blasting Arewa youth, blaming religion and exposing what he calls the poorest and most unsafe place in the whole of Nigeria. This came as a response to the shocking news of a young woman recently lynched by Muslim mobs in Niger State, all because of alleged blasphemy. The man did not hold back his words, and what he said is already shaking the internet. He started by warning Arewa youth that his words might hurt, but he doesn't care. According to him, killings in the name of religion have made Arewa communities look primitive and uneducated in the eyes of other Nigerians. He challenged them, saying that if they truly understand his message, they are wise. But if they get angry, then what people are saying about them is true. The young man went further to point out that among all ethnic groups in Nigeria, Arewa communities remain the poorest. He described how in 2025, when the rest of the country has moved forward, the North is still stuck in 1940 with mud houses and old ways of living that refuse to change. Then came the most explosive part. He accused religion of being used as a scam. He said while Arewa people hold tightly to promises of heaven and paradise, their leaders and foreign powers have used religion to blind them while looting their resources. He compared it to someone being scammed with a phone, not because the phone is bad, but because of how it was used. According to him, Africa is the most blessed with natural resources, yet still the poorest continent because outsiders tricked us into focusing on prayer while they took away everything. He insisted that since religion came, not even $1 has been added to Nigeria's progress, but instead the same people who brought it have developed their own countries with Africa's wealth. And in his words, if after all these years, Arewa youth are still killing their own brothers and sisters because of religion, then they are the dumbest people on earth. Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
My Arewa brothers, this one may hurt you, but wallahi, I don't care. Just saw this news now that our Muslim brothers unalived another person in the name of insulting their religion, insulting their Muhammad, their Allah, or whatever. I'm going to tell you the reason why everyone in the country sees Arewa community as the most primitive, uneducated, slow set of people. If people say that Arewa youth are uneducated, primitive, and they have low understanding, are they really lying? This video now is going to serve as an evidence whether you are primitive or not, because if you are able to understand what I'm going to say in this video, then you have a very sharp understanding. But if you still don't understand it and this video gets you triggered or gets you angry, then it simply means that whatever they are saying is true. If we're going to tell ourselves the truth, we have to understand that among all other ethnic groups in Nigeria, the Arewa community is the poorest of them all. Some people are going to argue this point, but the fact is that those structures, those houses, those mud houses, those kind of equipment that our great-grandfathers were using in 1940 something, it is only in the Arewa community, like in the northern community, that you go and you will see all of them, and the Arewa communities are still using them even up to today. Other people are living in 2025, this 2025, but the Arewa community, the northern community, they are living in 1940. In 2025, that everyone is getting to understand how they use religion to scam us. You people are still so daft and still rooted in this religion so much that you will still unalive your brother. Now, this video does not necessarily mean that religion is so bad or so evil. I'm just trying to explain that they use religion to scam you. I'm trying to explain this in a layman's understanding so that everybody will understand. Because someone use phone to scam somebody does not necessarily mean that phone is bad, but then you should understand that you were scammed with the phone. They scammed you with religion. How? My Arewa brothers, I'm talking to you now. Pay close attention and understand. Among all the ethnic groups and all other locations in Nigeria, it is Arewa community that is most religious among all of them. They know they carry religion, they plead. Now, this same Arewa community is still the poorest and the most unsafe place to stay in Nigeria. Why is it like that? Now, I'm trying to explain in this video how they scammed you with religion. But you as a Christian, there are promises that are given to you that you are going to inherit in heaven. You as a Muslim, there are promises that are given to you that you are going to inherit in heaven. Those people that brought this religion to you, they are fighting for the resources in Africa. Africa is the number one blessed with a high amount of mineral resources, but the same Africa is the poorest of all other continents. Now, these people, since they don't have enough resources, they came for your own resources. They now told you that all of these your resources and blessings that God blessed you with, that they are vanity upon vanity, that you have your own in heaven, which is after you die. That is scam. Now, you accepted the religion and they told you how to be praying and how to be bowing your head out. So immediately you started praying and focusing on religion. They start looting all your mineral resources. That is why Africa is still poor today and we are carrying religion on our head. Now, since we started practicing everything they told us, not even $1 has been added to our account balance, not even $1 has been added to our GDP. Now, our life expectancy, nothing has been added. But these people, they have developed their country, entire country, with all the resources they got from Africa. Now, in 2025, that you should be understanding this scam, that if you are still unaliving your brother because of this same religion that you have not benefited anything from, then you are the dumbest person on earth. You are the dumbest person in this planet Earth. Imagine that you have 1 million naira in your account and somebody comes to you and tell you that this 1 million naira that you have in your account is vanity upon vanity. Forget about the money. Take Quran, take Bible and start praying. And immediately you start praying with those Bible and Quran, the person will go to your account and withdraw the 1 million naira. And you are still using it to unalive your brother. You are the dumbest person I've ever seen. You want to say so. If you are unaliving your brother because of religion, at this point, that you should understand that you were scammed in broad daylight. If you are still unaliving your brother because of the same religion that you were scammed with, then you are the dumbest person on this planet. And with the current state of things in this country now, that we are not only talking about protecting the lost resources of Africa, we are now talking about your life, because these hate men are not only unaliving the Christians now, they are still now unaliving you. You are still so much rooted in this your religion that you are unaliving your brother. Muhammad Minini Wan Muhammad Minini Wancha. Nisarankani, Zigo tell me what the man talk down Ubanku. That Ubanku. Other people are beginning to wake up from this religious camp, and you are still so blind. 2025. If you are still going to get pissed off and get angry with what I said in this video that you know that is true, then everything they said about the Arewa community being primitive and uneducated is true. You are seeing a broad daylight scam. You have been on this scam for several years, and somebody is literally telling you that this is scam, and you are still not accepting it. Are you not primitive? Trying to unalive somebody because of religion makes you the dumbest person in this planet Earth. If your God is strong, allow your God may go fight for you. The Oyibo people that gave you the religion, the same religion they gave you, they are not unaliving their brothers because of it. See how slow and how daft you are. The Arewa community that is carrying religion for head, you are still the poorest. Stop the nonsense. It's over. It's over.
Why is the north of Nigeria poorer than the south of Nigeria? So, poverty, as we all know, is a global issue, is a global phenomenon. Most countries, especially developing countries, are suffering from the problem of poverty, which has a whole lot. But then, as it is a global phenomenon, it is also a national phenomenon here in Nigeria. That is poverty across the regions of the country. But then, poverty in the north of Nigeria is more pronounced than the south of Nigeria. According to recent statistics released by the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS), there are 133 million people living in poverty in Nigeria, and the north alone accounts for 86.2 million, which is equivalent to about 65% of the total number of poor people, while the south accounts for about 46.9%, which is equivalent to 35% of the total people living with poverty in Nigeria. So here in this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons, I think that's in my own personal opinion, why the north of Nigeria is more poorer than the south of Nigeria. And number 1 is the subsistence level of agriculture in the northern region. As we all know, the north of Nigeria accounts for about 70% of the total land mass in the country, which implies that there is more arable land in the region. So definitely agriculture is the dominant industry in the region, but then it is treated more as a traditional occupation rather than a business. So what the kind of agriculture that is being practiced is mainly at that subsistence level. There is less innovation, there is less use of modern technique and precision agriculture, and there is less yield. So if there is less yield, definitely there will be less revenue that is accrued to the region in that regard, and so that will affect the number of people that are being lifted out of poverty in the region. And number 2 reason I'll give for this, in my own opinion, is lack of value addition. That is the lack of storage facilities in the region. Sorry, not storage, I mean processing facilities. You know, it is very, very important to note that value addition has to do with the processing of raw materials into semi-finished or finished goods. So, like in the case of the north of Nigeria, agriculture, which is the dominant sector, is being plagued by the problem of lack of processing. So you see, whereby farmers produce goods and their farm produce, they are usually sold to the other parts of the country in the raw form without adding value. Now, the third reason for the high level of poverty in northern Nigeria is insecurity and political instability. We all know that Nigeria has unfortunately had its own fair share of insurgency, sectarian and ethno-religious crises here and there, and the north of Nigeria has been left to bear much of this burden. For instance, if you are conversant with the history of the north of this country, like from the 80s, there's been the Metasine insurgency and the various religious and ethnic crises that has rocked different parts of the north, like Kaduna riots, the just ceaseless riots, the Boko Haram insurgency that has ravaged the northeast and is still not even defeated, and now most recently the menace of banditry that is ravaging the entire region. Almost no state is spared from crisis. Some call it farmers herders crisis, some call it insurgency or whatever, but the north is under siege with different level of violence. This has been going on for over the years now, and definitely it has affected businesses. It has affected the level of foreign direct investments that comes into the region. So you see, most times when statistics have been declared, you see that the south of Nigeria has more foreign direct investments than the north, which implies less jobs for the region, less revenue, less taxes, and so on. So this has contributed to the high level of poverty in the region. Now, number 4, now, in opinion, the cause of higher level of poverty in the north of this country is socio-cultural factors. For instance, the issue of early marriage and having an uncontrollable number of children is a cultural practice that has been going on for so long in the north. So it is common to see a man with so many wives and so many children. So this unfortunately has contributed to the high level of poverty in the region, because when you don't plan your family, definitely it means you are going to have less resources to cater for too many number of people that you can't even afford to. So that has left the northern region with high level of destitutes, both children, women, as a result of that. Then I think the last but not the least I would like to mention here is lower standard of education and inadequate skills acquisition and development. I think the south of Nigeria, if you want to compare, is more endowed in terms of education and skills development than the north of this country. But then there is a historical account to this. You know, Western education, or what we know as the formal education, was introduced first in the south of the country before it was introduced in the north. But this is not an excuse to say why the north is lagging behind, actually, because the colonialists have left over 50 years ago now. So definitely there's been a number of years for the north to catch up in that regard. But then there's still much that needs to be done. But this is not to say that a lot of the governors in the region and even the federal government has not invested in terms of education in the region, because we have seen beautiful schools and high institutions spreading everywhere. But then one may be tempted to ask, what is the quality of the teachers teaching in this school? So definitely for the north to catch up and get out of the woods, the level of education, the kind of skills, especially tech skills and relevant education, needs to be given proper attention. I think these are my 5 reasons for why the north is poorer than the south of Nigeria. So please.
Northern Nigeria is blessed with arable lands that can feed the entire nation. Former President Buhari once lamented that Nigeria is only able to cultivate 2.5% of its arable lands. This leaves about 80% of arable land uncultivated in the north alone. But northern elites would rather accumulate wealth for themselves and their family than invest in the region. The result is an insane level of poverty rate, with the World Bank stating that 87% of poor Nigerians live in the north. The poorest region of the nation, which is the Northwest Zone, has a population of 35.7 million people. That is about the same population as the Southeast and South-South combined. The 3 northern zones have a much larger proportion of Nigeria's human capital, land mass, and agricultural assets, and they have a lot of solid minerals yet to be exploited. If Nigeria were to do away with the current system that breeds poverty and invest in the vast agricultural lands located here, as well as harness the mineral resources of the region, northern Nigeria can feed the whole of the West African sub-region. And with oil revenue dwindling, such a venture can easily earn 20 times what the nation earns currently from oil and gas. So I ask, how can a region with so much potential for greatness also be known as the poorest region of the country? Every year, northern Nigeria continues to grow in population and insecurity, yet cannot produce half of what it consumes. Normally, a region with such a young and large population should represent a large market as well. But it does not, because it has no purchasing power. It has little to zero economic growth as its economy remains substantially peasant. The little infrastructure it has is in decay. When you look at the young population most times, it's a bunch of poor roadside beggars with no hope of quality education or opportunities to acquire skills. There's little to no industrial base, no skilled labor, and no capital to invest in developing agricultural technology. So again, how can a region with the majority of the voting population have such terrible political fortunes? How can the region with some of the richest men in all of Africa have the lowest success rates in qualifying examinations for post-secondary institutions and the highest percentage of unqualified teachers in its primary and secondary schools? While the vast majority of the citizens lack access to functional rural health centers, the leaders occasionally jump on planes and go on medical tourism whenever they feel like it. And then, when these poor people lament, the government gives them palliatives conveniently. Keep them poor, then watch as they feed on the crumbs that fall from the tables of the rich. But then you ask, how does poverty benefit the elite? How has it become a thriving business? The rich and powerful have created a lot more poor people in Nigeria, mainly for selfish and political reasons. Northern leaders have managed to keep the northern masses in perpetual ignorance and human misery, that the masses no longer bother to think for themselves. Their size and larger number of local governments entitle them to higher revenue. But why is the region in such a mess? When it comes to elections, northern elites allegedly influence the decision of whom their people should vote for. They manipulate them into selling their votes and sometimes make elections out to be an us versus them situation, leading to the recycled garbage we have leading the nation today. But this thriving business of poverty that may sometimes appear like a northern affair is not without consequences for the entire country. You see, when people are excluded within a society, when they are not well educated, and when they have a higher incidence of illness, there are negative consequences for such a society. At the end of the day, we all get to pay the price for poverty. And like a wise man once said, one day, the poor will have nothing to eat but the rich.
Hello my people, new report don come out. What is the report? Multi-dimensional poverty report. State where we say na the poor pass, and the state where we say the poverty level dey low well for this country. So if you look for state where you wan stay where poverty low well, I go tell you for this class. The one where high pass, I go tell you. The one where jump from one place go enter another place, go dey mago, you don't know whether na poor or not, I go tell you. For me now, I dey look for house for one state, and that state na Ondo State. They say na Ondo State, Ondo Oye. They say poverty low for here well. Na it low pass for entire Nigeria. You were the Ondo State. Na true or na false? Say una state the poverty level low. Mo go check the highest though. Highest na Sokoto. Say people where dey Sokoto now they get the highest level of multi-dimensional poverty. Followed by Bayelsa. Bayelsa just jump from south, go enter north, call the battle for the first position. He can carry second for multi-dimensional poverty. No me talk more. See now the cable index, full list, multi-dimensional poverty across states. Sokoto, Bayelsa go be lead. They battle for the first position. See so? Okay, now let's start. Multi-dimensional poverty report across Nigeria. Wetin multi-dimensional poverty mean? Not just poverty, multi-dimensional. Poverty is not only about lack of money when it comes to multi-dimensional poverty. Multi-dimensional poverty is equal to be poor in many areas. Many areas. You no get money, you no get good health. Everything like say the arrow dey come from different directions. Na only you dey this world. At the same time, for instance, when it comes to health, poor nutrition, child mortality, children dey kpai easily, education, few years of schooling, they drop out of school. That is poverty. When children dey drop out of schools, na also poverty. Children not in school, living standards another area, no clean water, no electricity, bad cooking fuel, poor housing, no toilet or sanitation, lack of asset, radio, phone, even bicycle for mobility, all areas of life. That is called multi-dimensional level of poverty. They say na Sokoto, na dey lead. Bayelsa comot from south go towards north, go join them. 88.5%, followed by Gombe, followed by Jigawa, followed by Plateau, followed by Yobe State, followed by Kebbi, Taraba. Ebonyi come up from southeast, run go there, go join. They say you are my friend. 78%, Zamfara 78%. So it means Ebonyi State and Zamfara, they get the same level of poverty. Hey, Cross River, people follow. Ebonyi for back home, say where you dey go? Say I dey go north, make I follow you. See how so? 75.4%, Benue 75%, Bauchi 73.9%, Kaduna, Katsina, Borno, they reduce, even Borno better pass Benue, Bayelsa, Ebonyi, Akwa Ibom 71.3%, Niger 69.1%, Adamawa 68%, Ogun State 68.1%. It dey reduce, that is descending order. Kano 60.3%, Enugu 63.1%, Rivers 62.4%, Kogi, Nasarawa say no, are they close to Abuja? Oyo State followed 48.7%, Kwara 48.3%, FCT 48.3%, Delta 47.6%, Imo 40.7%, Imo, Oye, Onsu 40.7%, Ekiti 36%, Edo 35.4%, Anambra 32.1%, Abia 29.8%, Lagos 29.4%, Ondo na lead 27.2%. So me, I dey look for us now for Ondo State. Hope say this report dey perfect o. Hope say I go read there now. Come dey say another thing o. Wetin you think? Drop up for comment section. Look at it. You plot the graph from 90 to 0. We start from Ondo, the lowest. Go dey waka, go meet Lagos, Abia, Anambra, Edo, Ekiti. That means as they go like this, poverty dey increase. Nasarawa, they go. They go Ebonyi, till they increase, they go so, they go. Where be this? Jigawa, Gombe, Bayelsa, then Sokoto. See so? If you talk about region by region, see northwest, say the poverty there too much. Southwest, the lowest. Southwest, oh yeah. See so? Southeast after southwest, then south, this side, northeast, then north central. What do you think about this report? Say, if you want to see people in the suffer, go Sokoto, go Bayelsa. But if you want people in the enjoy, go to Ondo, go to Lagos. What do you think? Drop up a comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.